Why my bad bitches?
My mic was off. I just realized. How you doing, man? Today might be a shorter stream, so like 12 for my time. Let me turn that down. I'm just figuring out what I'm going to react to while I let the stream get some people in. All right. I think I'm gonna do like, well, depending on the videos, I guess. Oh, I already did this one. This can get removed from the playlist. I did that. Ooh, this guy makes good videos. I'll do this one. I'll do this. Thing to me, girl. You wanna thing to me, girl. Your mom wanna thing to me, girl. The worst time to be born in history. That actually sounds hella interesting. Let me add that to the queue. That's a good 20-minute one. I'm actually curious what this means. Let's kill you a billion times to make you immortal. Okay. Let me get one other different kind. That's actually an old video. 6 people? Are you saying that's how many are in the stream? All right. Well, I could show myself scrolling through videos actually. This is what I'm going through right now. I'm deciding what I want to look at. You know what? For the last one I could think of, I think that's 5 right there. I think that's 5 videos in the queue. 4 total. Oh, why is this not working? I can't tell who just followed. Now 13? Oh, word. Welcome, everyone. All right, let me end this song. All right. So first, we're starting with, I investigated the city made of trash. What you on? Right now, I'm just going to do some reacts, and then I'm going to figure out if me and my friend group are hopping on a game tonight. Real quick, though, I need to make this fan go up more. It's getting a little hot in my room. I cannot lie. I think 3 should be fine. There we go. Oh, it's you? Hey, thank you. Ash Ear Madness. I think I said that right. Ash Ear Madness. I believe so. For some reason, activity feed doesn't work. It hasn't been working. Maybe it needs to update. I don't know. But thank you. Welcome. All right, let's start with this is by Tyler Oliveira, I believe. Oliveira. I investigated the city made of trash. Let's go.
Top of a literal mountain of
What up? This probably needs to be turned up.
trash, trying to collect things to sell next door. That's
right.
a child on top of a literal mountain
Oh my
of
God.
trash, trying to collect things to sell
This is like the trash pit. I'm already pausing. Oh my God. But yeah, this is like Bangladesh, the trash pit they had.
door in the local slum covered in animal feces, open sewage, and air pollutants in New Delhi, India, one of the most polluted cities on earth, killing almost 2 million people per year, earning India the world's highest death rate from chronic respiratory diseases and asthma. But why is this city so polluted, and can it be fixed? So I met up with Vivek, a local from New Delhi, to show me how this all began.
I'm sure
Where are we heading first?
We're going to the Alswana landfill.
Where they store trash?
There are around 4 of them in Delhi. We're gonna go visit 3 major
trash
ones.
fills.
I notice a lot of traffic
that
right now.
big?
Does that contribute to the pollution problem?
That's
that
crazy.
Contribute a lot to the pollution because they never switch off their engines because they want the air conditioning to be on.
More concisely, vehicle
That's fair.
emissions
We do the same thing.
Hey,
thank you. I appreciate that.
In the air. They don't give a rip. People love to hug. And as we finally made it out of the morning traffic, I saw this in the distance.
Oh my god. At least their well, no, I can't really see fully. I was gonna say their water looks better than the previous spots we've seen on the channel. But this is a huge mountain
if you're unlucky
heap of
enough
trash.
to live by that trash mountain, you're definitely losing half your life just by living in proximity to this.
Half your life just living next to the trash.
Right, and you're filled with trash about to add to the mountain. All this dust. You have water lines, it looks like.
I bet that's not even really dust, for real.
Gotta be terrible for anyone nearby, right? It's hard to breathe here.
Very hard to breathe here.
You guys live
What's crazy to me is he's here. They're just chilling here with no mask. I feel like if I'm near this spot, one is gonna smell like trash, obviously, but if I know it's gonna cut my life, I'm putting on a mask.
Yes.
Is it hard to breathe here?
Yes. Yes.
Do people and their families have health problems?
दादा को भी है.
Asthma.
Because
Suffering
of the trash in the air?
Trash and the air and the pollution.
Okay.
Sometimes they burn it to get rid of the trash. Then the air quality become worse. They'll catch asthma too, like their grandparents.
Okay, goodbye.
Right. Yeah, he's pretty much just saying the kids, unfortunately, are just gonna be a statistic. He's pretty much saying no matter what, because they have to get rid of the trash by burning it, they're gonna get the asthma.
You're welcome.
Hi, do you live here?
जी सर
He's been living here since his childhood. He's born here
Okay.
actually.
How many years?
35 साल
Do you have any breathing problems?
यहाँ
Probably.
सांस लेने में दिक्कत आपने ऑटोमेटिक इसमें गैस बनी हुई है ऑटोमेटिक आग लग जाती है आता है बारिश होती है तो सारा काला काला
All the
पानी
black
झुग्गियों में ये-
water
Would you move
goes
out of
in the
here if you could,
cottages.
financially?
नहीं जी चले जाएंगे यहाँ से
No, no.
Okay.
Okay.
This slum was here before the trash pile?
Trash pile was
I mean, like, obviously they would want to move. Like, even if it's your home, you wouldn't really want to sacrifice half your life for it.
Why would they want to build homes near the trash pile?
very, very poor people move to India. They just stay here because they can easily get some work to do
Sure.
by the garbage.
Most people that live in this slum work in
Wow.
trash processing.
But many of them, yes.
Many of them get sick and die young.
Oh, yes.
There's a lot of cow poop right here. That's open sewage. Look at all
Open
that.
sewages.
Oh man, look at all those.
Do they not have, like, a cover at
Trash
least?
Right there, your view every day of the week, right in the middle of the city. If I were to eat
Wow.
this street food, Vivek, would I get sick?
Anything
Probably.
here, yeah, it's not good.
That's crazy.
I mean, I feel like eating anything near the area would get you sick. If breathing it would get you sick, I feel like opening your mouth to eat would too.
The vote banks, the government gives them free electricity and water. So that's why they love to live here because they don't pay anything.
Oh, they just okay. They don't pay for electricity.
Let's talk to Vivek. Vivek, you feel comfortable coming out here?
Yeah.
You don't feel like we're gonna get sick?
No.
So we went in.
All right.
This is pretty insane.
Was that
We're gonna
dog?
get sick.
Hold on. Was that dog drinking some water?
No.
So
No, it
we
was
went
just
in.
searching,
Wow,
okay.
This is pretty insane. The living conditions. Look at that cow. That's just cooking right
That
there.
cow was
yeah?
going to town.
Would you get sick if you ate the food here?
Yes, you already
Straight up,
asked.
Cooking right there next to the trash. People live here on a daily basis. This is a real thing. These kids
Right.
are chilling, having a good time. Hey. The family's living, eating, and working in filth right next to the landfill
Wow.
was a sad sight. And apparently...
Political parties have promised that in 1 year they'll try to make it.
Okay, 12...
Oh, I thought he was about to say in 1 year they were gonna get rid of it. I was like, fucking impossible. I don't believe you at all. But they said start work or fixing it.
months.
Okay.
I hope so. And as we walked back to the car, I found my first pool of infamous black water.
The black
teeming with
water.
freshly born mosquitoes carrying diseases like dengue, malaria, Zika, and yellow fever.
Oh, I didn't even think about the mosquitoes. And hopefully, I'm sure you put on mosquito repellent, but bro, that would scare me. Like, not even low key, that would actually scare me. Like, mosquitoes that will give me those diseases just spawning from the black water, that's just not good.
So this is the black water you talked about.
Yeah.
This will give you diseases.
All the mosquitoes.
Okay, let's stay away from that.
Yeah.
Stay away from the mosquitoes.
Yeah,
Always
for
be
sure.
dogs. Malaria on my
Poor
mind.
dog,
Vivek
bruh.
wanted to show me the local vet, where I stumbled upon some super cute puppies and
Aw.
some hopeful teenagers. Little puppy, he's so cute. What's
He
his
is
name?
cute.
Johnny.
Johnny.
Oh, he's got the
What's his
little
name?
eye patch
Buku.
thing.
Hi, Buku. He's cute. Hi. You guys from here? How is life here? You guys happy?
Life is okay. That's cutting. They're doing everything.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Do you have plans to live here, or do you
Is
want
this
to
the
get out
school?
of this area?
They want to move one day.
Where do you guys want to move?
They want to go to America.
America? All right.
Given the state of poverty
opportunity.
a lot of these kids were born into, and the fact that they'll probably have to take care of their older family when they become adults, it's
Right.
unlikely any of them will actually get to the U.S. On that depressing note, Vivek took me
Damn.
inside the vet/human doctor's clinic.
The doctor is not here.
Doctor's not here? So what's going on in here?
Wait, so
When I
there's no
poked my head
doctor?
in, it didn't look as hygienic or
Well, he said the doctor's not here, but who are they then?
Doctor's not here? So what's going on in here? When I poked my head in, it didn't look as hygienic or medically grade clean as you might have hoped. So I said my goodbye.
Ooh, okay.
Bye. Cute puppy. What can I say? What's a native like goodbye?
She was not fucking with him.
Namaste. Namaste. See you. But keep in mind, this is literally right next to the trash mountain. So we got
Yeah.
back on the road.
They're still
and Vivek
right
began
next to the
driving me
mountain
to
of
a
trash.
location where they burned human bodies into the most polluted river in India.
We are visiting a crematorium now in Delhi. This is the largest crematorium.
They burned the bodies
Okay.
here.
Burn the bodies here. Yeah, you can now see
Oh,
the pollution
wait, is it
from there.
open? Is it open cremation? Like, well, open as in like it's not covered by a whole structure?
Burning.
Just see the heat, steam in the air. These are human bodies being burned. All that's
Oh, so it's out in the open. So these are the pits they burn the bodies in?
smoke. This pollutes the local river.
Well, I guess if they cover the bodies like that log, but I feel like wouldn't this be too open for it to burn hot enough to fully cremate everything?
It pollutes the local river and the air also.
And you're gonna show me that river?
This is Yamuna River.
Yamuna?
Most holy
Yamuna
river in
River.
India after Ganges.
So all the ashes go in the Ganges River?
Yes.
Why?
Because that is known as the holiest river. If you want to get salvation or get rid of circle of birth and rebirth, the tradition wise is there.
Okay, so this
So
is
they
all dirty water right
dump
here.
You can see
in
it
there.
by the factory.
I'm sorry. I was hold
After
on.
Ganges.
So all the ashes go in the Ganges River?
Yes.
All the ashes go in there. That's crazy. They dump the ashes in the wow. Sorry, I just smacked the fuck out my mic. But oh my god.
Because that is known as the holiest river. If you want to get salvation
holy
or get rid
river.
of circle of birth and rebirth, the
I mean, not to say it's not, I'm not saying it's not holy, but if you're seeing it as the holy river and a sign of rebirth, why would it not be constantly be getting cleaned if we're dumping the ashes of bodies in there? That's my only thing. Like, it looked dirty, not in a disrespectful way, but like, honestly.
tradition wise is there.
Okay, so this is all dirty water right here.
All you can see, polluted by the factories and
Right.
polluted by the throwing all the garbage in the river.
I see. Do you get in those boats and collect trash?
पूजा का सामान और घूमने के लिए लोग आते हैं
There's hardly any social security, so a lot of people have to risk their lives.
Do they get born into these jobs?
Yeah.
After seeing the most polluted
Okay.
river in India, Vivek
Wow.
took me to an old coal-powered power plant. Oh, I can see it right there. Tall coal power plant. Coal generates nearly 75%
Damn,
of all
and
electricity
coal
in
is
India, contributing to smog,
very
respiratory
bad for the
illnesses,
air.
acid rain, and airborne toxins. But luckily for the people
Hmm.
breathing air, Indian power producers are investing heavily in renewable future, with the
That-
hopes
that's
of a
good.
net zero carbon emission by 2070. And as we left the power plant, Vivek, the hopes
2070?
to have a net zero carbon emission by 2070.
Okay, 2070 is a ways away. What about like in 10 years? What is 10 years? What do they hope like to bring that down to?
And as we left the power plant, Vivek took me to get some lunch before we headed to the next landfill. Little did I know, my lunch was literally across the street from this landfill.
This
Oh,
is the
you're-
largest market for chicken and eggs.
Oh no. All the food is literally in front or near the trash fill, so the animals are breathing obviously no matter where. Can I tell everyone to subscribe? Hey, subscribe everyone. Oh, it looks like the stream elements is working for activity feed. Subscribe everyone if you're enjoying. But yeah, that's crazy. The animals are gonna breathe in all the bad shit and then everyone has to eat it. And they're also kept in like these small pens, so the meat is gonna be stressed. it's just not gonna be good.
In Delhi?
Landfill is literally right next to the food market. The chicken that I've been
Wow.
eating in the hotel from that market and right across the street. Jesus.
Oh, he throws up.
My cameraman was a tad squeamish when he learned where our last
I mean, I
meals had
can't-
come from. Man, these
My webcam just froze. I can't blame him though. Like, I can't blame him for getting squeamish.
boys are thick. Lots of flies out here. Look at all these vultures above us. All these fecal matter.
Are those vultures?
Open air little chicken market.
They
right
look
here.
like regular birds to me.
That's
Waiting to get
Oh,
died.
insects.
Yeah.
maggots.
Yeah.
Mmm.
Dang,
Yummy.
sludge. All these
Doesn't that look yummy, chat? Yummy.
maggots. All these chickens just chilling in
Protein.
here, waiting to get murked. Looks like a pretty brutal life. You definitely don't want to be born a chicken out here. Get the bubbling soup
Yeah.
right here. Why is it bubbling? Bike is
That's
just
the goop
stuck
scoop.
in sludge. Look at all that sludge right there. Whoa.
Wow.
Okay. And just so
And
you know
those
how
are the
it
young?
smells, listen to that sludge.
Okay, I'm no farmer,
right there.
but I think I've seen young chicks before. They're not supposed to be like this.
Okay. And
All
just so you
right.
know how it smells, listen to my cameraman when I roll the window down. Don't do it on me, Pasha, please. Oh, please don't throw up. Please don't do
Bro,
it,
roll up
Pasha.
the
And
window
only a
then.
10-second drive away, we had our second.
He
mountain
already threw up
trash.
once. His
Mountain
stomach
trash.
going through it.
That is a lot of trash, Vivek. We're entering the slum. Not a slum.
No, Islam, it's a market. Fish market.
Okay.
Fish market right across.
Fish
from the trash.
market.
The trash.
Oh,
Fish and
man.
chicken market right next to
Look
it.
at that trash mountain right next to the fish.
Hey, have a good one, Cheese.
Go, open the door. It smells pretty bad
Bruh.
here. Hey, look at those flies, just eating away.
And then the guts of the
From here, probably,
fish.
right?
All from here.
Got some blood on the floor, a bunch of flies. Oh, yo. Live fish right there.
Hey, once again, like every time we watch one of these videos, be thankful where you're at if your conditions are even slightly better than this.
Vivek. These are eels, Vivek. These are eels. You want
Yep.
to touch one?
No.
No.
Cut them into pieces right there. We got a rat.
I noticed that's a very common
No.
Cut them
device. This blade is actually very common in every video I've seen. Like this has always popped up in the markets. They use it just to like pull it through and slice easy.
into pieces right there.
They don't actually like cut.
We got a rat. 6'9". 6'9". I toured the rat-infested fish market. My cameraman was coughing out cement particles. Fish heads.
Oh my god. That is crazy. They don't even live here. And he's coughing up cement particles. How does he know it's cement particles? First off, I don't know. I'm gonna take his word for it. He's coughing up something that's not meant to be coughed up though.
My cameraman was coughing out cement particles.
Oh my
Fish
God.
heads, shrimp, big fish. What are your thoughts on geopolitics in India, sir?
All right.
Ah, you're a jokester. You ever wonder where your breakfast, lunch, and dinner come from?
Stop.
It's about to come back.
Oh, don't tell me that.
So hope you become a vegetarian. Like,
Vegetarian. Why did he pick up the laugh?
Oh, we're ready.
Was that a fake laugh? He like went from a chuckle into a full-blown laugh. What the fuck?
Oh, where are we headed next? He doesn't even know. We headed to
Yeah,
another slum right
where
across
else?
the fish market and second trash mountain, and immediately saw a cow stuck in a pool of poop. Get stuck.
Wow, the cow is stuck in
Almost stuck
poop?
the mud. He's stuck.
Wait, is it poop or mud? Oh, it is poop.
Yeah.
Wow, all of that is poop? That's crazy. How is that not covered? Oh, what's up, James? Welcome back. I remember you, man. Oh, shit. All right.
This is crazy. It takes a
Wow.
village. Can they
I
get
mean,
out?
yeah,
He's
cows
going
are
free. They
heavy
can do
as
it.
shit.
He's out. They've done it. They've done it. They've done it. Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Yeah. Wow. Yes. A long day in the pool. He's
They
the
are
number
like,
one.
what
He's the
is-
number one. He's back. He's back.
They're like,
He can
what
do
is he
stuff.
doing, bro?
Wow. Moral of the story is do not fall in a giant puddle of poop. There's a lot of poop out here. It smells really bad.
Really bad.
Really?
A lot of milk.
This cow may have
And
Down
a lot of
syndrome.
milk.
No.
No? Okay. These are ranchers,
No,
essentially?
these are just people just doing business for the milk.
Okay.
Right.
Look at all that poop. Look at all that poop. That
I
is some
wonder how
crazy
bad
poop
that
water.
milk
Water
is.
buffalo.
Yeah, poor
These
cows,
boys are
yeah.
Big and unfiltered.
Bro,
Definitely
there was-
stinks in here. Look at
There was like so many animals in this area, I just feel bad. I mean, obviously for the people too, but the animals too, man. It's like
All that poop
all
right
of
there.
them are just suffering.
These guys are messy boys right here. This is the poop water coming right out of there. That definitely doesn't have any malaria, right?
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
Oh,
From
yo,
up there.
That's unexpected. Water
What?
from the sky. Look at that, just shooting out. Now the trash mountain is literally right to my left. Keep in mind, it is right there.
Still
Whoa,
across
look
the
at all
street.
those crows.
Bruh, those crows are living lavishly.
This is no
I mean,
joke,
besides
This
being
business
poisoned.
is visible dirty. Some businesses are dirty, but they're not visible.
Fair enough.
That's fair.
Yeah.
After seeing the dairy slum, Vivek took me to the final and largest trash mountain.
What
where
game
he
are they
said he
playing?
could sneak
Cricket?
me into a car and to the top of Trash Mountain.
You think, oh, what a beautiful scene, and then boom, you realize it's trash. Look at all of that.
Buddy,
Yeah, this
who
is
was
Trash
thinking
Mountain.
it's a beautiful
The
scene?
truck. We're gonna go up top. We're just in the truck
Going
right
up
now.
top is
Pretty epic.
wild.
That's about they like working here.
मच्छर बदबू बहुत आती है
Too
This line of
smelly.
work dangerous.
I'm sure after like probably only 6 months of working here, their noses just might not work the same.
Does the mountain collapse sometimes?
डेंजरस जब होता है जब बारिश ज्यादा होती है
Oh, look at all.
Oh, I didn't even really think of
What
that.
he's doing?
He will take out all the valuable stuff out of the
So
garbage.
he-
That's how he makes.
So he
More
sells
scavengers right
it,
there with their
right?
metal rods. This is a surreal experience. Okay, we are on top of Trash Mountain right now, and look at this dog right here. This is sad, but every
You know what? This is a bad comparison to make. It might be in bad taste. I don't know how bad it is, but there's a new manga I've been reading where the whole premise is people from the heavens are throwing trash down below. Even though I don't really think it's heaven, but I didn't get too far in it. But this is literally what it looks like. It's just layers and mountains of trash everywhere.
creatures adapting to their environment out here. But things like this
I wouldn't
little
call
kid
that
collecting
adapting, bro.
materials with a magnetic rod while living in a tent, committee of vultures circling above us.
He lives up
melancholy,
there.
Trash-infused workers who say they can't even wash the smell away make this whole situation a hellish sight.
Saying you're not
Wow.
allowed to make videos without permission.
See the government?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
He's working for people here. We're getting kicked out.
As we were kicked out of Trash Mountain, Vivek told me
Okay.
to tell whoever asked that I was a college student studying sanitation abroad as my cover-up story.
कर रहे हो आप किसकी परमिशन ली आपने
नहीं परमिशन नहीं स्टूडेंट्स हैं
अरे कोई भी कोई परमिशन नहीं है यहाँ पे
हाँ,
जाओ
चलते हैं।
जाओ जी साहब बात कर रहे हो तभी तभी इसके बाद आपने शूट किया यहाँ पे कैसे की आप ऐसे घुस गए कहीं भी किसी प्रवास में ऐसे घुस जाओगे यार
Let's talk to the officer. Come.
Oh,
Vivek
okay.
ushered for me to follow him to the front office. Given that
Okay.
my ascent to Trash Mountain was probably entirely illegal, I was hesitant.
I thought he got like clearance. You go to school at 6, you're 13. Damn. I ain't go to school that early. But I thought he got like clearance to go up here. So if you're not a resident here, you need clearance. And if you do live here, you love my videos, thank you. If you do live here, does that mean you don't need clearance, or does everyone need permission? Because there was a kid living up there. Like, what about him? Would the government like care or allow for the kid to stay?
Front office. Given that my ascent to Trash
mean,
Mountain was
obviously, if
probably
he's living
entirely
there.
illegal, I was hesitant. Will I come back? At this point,
That wasn't a
being
sure
in prison and
yeah.
Losing the footage was my number one fear. What?
Do not go past the fucking gate. Bro, this is what I'm saying. Like, I don't trust that.
What?
They need to talk to you.
Let's go. We're done. Wow. Not getting taken into custody at Trash Mountain. My
Yeah,
assertion of
nah,
white male confidence
nah.
had gotten us out of trouble and out of Trash Mountain unscathed.
Just
These people,
leave.
They feel bossy. They want to have some extra income. That's all in India.
What is India's goal and New Delhi's goal to kind of fix all this going on?
Bro, yeah, I'm glad he just went like, no, I'm not going behind the fucking gate. We're getting out. Because once you go past the gate, they're going to tell you to stop recording. And then whatever the fuck they do to you, there's no proof. And you could just be unlucky, like depending on who's working there at the moment.
The government is already doing their part, switching off all the coal power stations using renewable energy. Future is much cleaner.
But the slums might still have landfills next to them.
Right.
That's just what
Right.
the cost New Delhi must pay to be clean overall.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow, okay.
Reasonable ending to the story. Get a O News shirt. Always biased, never informed. A lot of these videos are getting completely demonetized. We need your help to keep going.
Wow.
So I'd really appreciate it if you clicked O News.
Yo, shouts out to him. Like, he's actually putting his health at risk for these videos, man. Did he actually? I mean, I wouldn't doubt it, to be honest. He said he was eating the food in the hotel across the street. Yeah, like I was saying, Jaden Salad's got the right idea, man. Makes you very grateful for where you live. Shouts out to Tyler. I'm not gonna butcher your last name again. Let's head to the next video.
The worst times to be born.
So next video is the worst time to be born in human history by Trust Me Bro. I will trust you because I'm not going to fact check any of this.
The worst times to be born in human history.
All right, let's
go. You might
go.
think you have things pretty hard right now, but if you have a roof over your
Not
head,
really.
access to clean water and electricity, and people around you that care
I know
about
I'm a
you,
law.
you've got a lot to be grateful for. A lot of the modern luxuries that we take for granted today didn't even exist 100 years ago,
Right.
which just makes you think, if almost everything I enjoy right now didn't exist 100 years ago, what did life look like 1,000 years ago,
Let's find
10,000
out.
years ago, 100,000 years ago? Well, in this video, we are going to dive into all the worst time periods to ever be born into. Everybody knows that the Roman Empire fell, but not many people talk about the time between the Roman Empire falling and the beginning of the Middle Ages. This period of time is referred to as the Late Antiquity, and it is a major time of
Antiquity.
political instability and a huge power shift in global politics at the time.
Okay.
Late Antiquity typically refers to anywhere from 200 AD to 700 AD, but for this section specifically, I'm going to be focusing on like 450 AD to 700 AD, because
Okay.
following the official end of the
By the way, my reference of time, what did they mean by hard? Oh wait, I don't know which part you're referring to, but I think it might have been for this video. But my sense of like time, like AD and stuff like that, is terrible. So I'm gonna do my best to keep up.
Specifically, I'm going to be focusing on like 450 AD to 700 AD, because following the official end of the Roman Empire in 476 AD, a lot of things continued to happen and change until the end of the Late Antiquity in the beginning of the Middle Ages. Whenever there is a large change in almost any aspect of life, there is
yeah, it was
growing
at the
pains
beginning. I
associated
thought
with
so.
it, because change is scary and difficult.
How you doing,
and in the
Snowy?
context of the Late Antiquity, anybody living in the Roman Empire was experiencing a huge cultural, political, and spiritual shift that had not
Okay.
been seen realistically for hundreds of years. This topic is undoubtedly extremely complex and nuanced, but I'm going to do my best to provide as much context as possible to
Please.
describe why this time period would have sucked to be born and live in. And one of the biggest reasons for a
wow.
lot of the hardships that people faced during this time was the widespread political instability, specifically because the empire that had controlled and mismanaged the entire geographical area for the last hundreds of years was no longer. Meaning that
Oh,
by
what
default,
happened
there
to
was
them?
a power vacuum that people were hungry to fill. And
Did
of
they
course,
just
with the fall of
collapse?
one of the most iconic empires of all
I'm doing good. I was born in 2002. Dang, a whole 10 years before you, James.
time, you also lose a lot of long-standing institutions, specifically
Okay.
armies, defense, banking, really anything that provided safety and stability to the people of Rome. Even before the
So a
fall of the
moment of
Roman
limbo.
Empire, Rome was consistently under attack from different groups. But during the late antiquity, there was much less resources and manpower to fight off barbarian tribes like the Goths, the Vandals, the Huns, which meant that these
Okay.
barbarian tribes were extremely motivated because they
So they
knew
got
that the
power.
big bad Roman Empire was not what it used to be. And what this resulted in was frequent wars, raids, and destruction across all of Europe and the Mediterranean, which for soldiers was devastating because at this point, soldiers were not as well equipped as they used to be, meaning that they were typically at a disadvantage during these attacks.
So
And for
they're weaker
civilians, that meant that they were
because
simply
there's less
protected,
security.
making them vulnerable to barbarian raids, which is something you definitely do not want to be vulnerable to. On top of defenses being diminished,
Do they still teach this in school? I highly doubt it because this is a very niche type of topic. It's like discussing what periods are worse to live in.
and wars and raids being more frequent, there was also a huge economic decline, which was almost perfectly coupled with the political instability. And because of this, massive trade networks shrank. Major culturally
Oh.
significant cities were destroyed and abandoned, and even agriculture was affected due to these consistent invasions. We think about ancient
Damn.
Roman and ancient Greek ruins today.
So they were going through it for a long time, just getting constantly like pushed, jumped, like they're going through it.
as this thing that existed only far in the past, but during the late antiquity, Major Roman and Greek cities and institutions and buildings that were active and respected only 100 or a few hundred years ago were now in ruins, with the majority of these culturally significant locations either being destroyed in raids, left to rot because there's nobody to use them or maintain them because of the city's depopulation, or if these buildings were still in decent shape in a city that was somewhat populated or repopulating, a lot of these buildings were actually deconstructed from the inside out to be used for new buildings. For example, ceramic and bricks were taken from old antiquity buildings and used to build new churches. The late antiquity is an interesting period of history because it is regarded as one of the most transitional periods, as it was at the dawn of the rise of Christianity. And because of that, there was a lot of conflict surrounding other religions in the area. But for that reason,
have a good one, James. I appreciate you coming through.
a lot of people see this time period as an opportunity and as something to be celebrated. And while
yeah, that makes sense, because it's kind of the same thing that happened after, like in the United States after the war, where after the war, it's seen as an opportunity for you to gain wealth and like the boom, you know, because there's a whole need for new jobs, because you got to rebuild, you got to restructure society to work again, because as he was just explaining, society pretty much collapsed and you got to rebuild, got to take stuff from the old, put it in the new, make it better. I am live on Twitch as well, Snowy. Yeah, I go live on Twitch and YouTube. Not much on TikTok anymore. They don't really push stuff out.
While that is definitely something to consider, the late antiquity is one of the most significant examples of transitioning from the old world to the new world. And living through that was not easy whatsoever. But in case you're still not convinced that the late antiquity is one of the worst times to be born in and alive in, allow me to present one thing I haven't mentioned yet, the Justinianic Plague, which took place during the peak of the late antiquity, specifically from 550 AD to 750 AD. And this 200-year period saw a drastic decline due to this plague that took place all across the Mediterranean and was responsible.
Wait, which plague?
Specifically from 550 Justinianic Plague, which took place during
Hold on, let me see if
allow me to present.
I'm sure there's subtitles
I haven't
for
mentioned
that.
Yet, the Justinianic Plague.
Justinianic Plague. Justinianic. I said that right the first time, I feel.
Plague, which took place during the peak of the late
another.
antiquity,
I never heard of that plague.
From 550 AD to 750 AD. And this 200-year
200 years of a
drastic
plague is
decline
wild.
due to this plague that took place all across the Mediterranean and was responsible for the death of tens of millions of people. This plague was happening while all of this political uncertainty was happening, all of these wars and raids were happening, all of the economic decline was happening, and all of the religious chaos was happening. All of this at the same time as a deadly plague.
Yeah,
so yeah, the late antiquity is not just a
very
casual
bad for
handoff
everyone.
of power or an example of growing pains, and had a lot of horrible things happening at the same time. And for that reason, I thought it was a great candidate for this list. But we have a lot more to discuss, so let's keep going. Following the late antiquity, I want to discuss a period of time that's a bit more modern. What I'm about to discuss isn't necessarily a time period. It's just a stretch of history that you would not want to be born in or live through at all. And this includes anywhere from 1914 to 1945.
Really?
The first
that
thing
recent?
You're probably thinking about during this time period is the World War.
Yeah, the
and
war.
You're exactly right. World War I took place from 1914 to 1918. And during this time, if you were a healthy adult man, there was an extremely good chance that you were going to be sent into some of the worst hellish.
I'm pretty sure like you're guaranteed to go to war because it was drafts, right? Or was draft only for World War II after the first one? I feel like there was a draft for the first one, no? Yeah, they had a lot of raids. Like, bro, it's crazy to think that, I mean, now that we're in 2000s, right? It sounds so long ago, but realistically, all this shit is not even like that old or long ago. Like, this is still pretty recent. There's people still alive that had like grandparents that fought this shit. Like, that is insane.
Conditions ever imaginable, but we're just getting started. Obviously, World War I didn't only affect soldiers, as there was millions of civilian casualties.
Yeah, civilians
as well.
got
and it's estimated
cooked
that in total, just from World War I alone, 15 to 22 million people died, with 9 to 11 million of those being military.
Whoa, that is actually insane. So 9 to 11 million people are military personnel, meaning they were in like literally fighting that war. But then 15 to 20 million total is the total carnage of the death and the war. And that's crazy to think about. Even if we go from the highest million from military, it's still less than, wow. That's
military
insane.
personnel and 6 to 13 million being possible civilian
Wow.
deaths. And that doesn't even account the injured and the displaced. But we're still only getting started. The conditions of World War I were insane. Trench warfare, machine guns, poison gas.
trench
These
foot,
people did
all
not have a
this.
quick and painless death. The people that did die died in some of the worst conditions this world has seen. But to add insult to injury, during 1918,
Yeah,
not
15
only
to
was there a
20 million is
massive World War
wild.
going on, but there was also a huge Spanish flu pandemic. And this pandemic was one of the deadliest pandemics in recorded.
Okay, I honestly thought he would maybe he will mention it, but I thought one of the worst time periods would have also been the yellow fever. I don't know if they still make people read this. I wish I got to ask James before he left because he's still in school. But you might be able to answer this. There was this book like Yellow Fever in middle school they make you read where it's like it talks about how terrible the situation was where your eyes would turn yellow. I think maybe the skin, but pretty much it was just another plague that wiped so many people out. I don't know the exact number, but I thought it might be on this list. We'll see.
History. And terrifyingly, sometimes killed young, healthy people in as little as 2 days. It's estimated that the Spanish
days
flu
if
killed
you're
at
healthy.
least 50 million people worldwide. Keep in mind, this is
50
after 22 million from the First World War.
Bro, it like that's actually impossible to completely wrap your head around. Like even the biggest stadium you could go to for like an event, you can't fathom the actual amount of people in that stadium and multiply that by however many like 1,000 or 100,000 you need to get 50 million. Like that's insane. You actually can't wrap your head around that, but it's crazy that many people died. You never heard of that book? Wow. It was actually like a very popular read in middle school because it was like one of the first introductions in school to a plague or a disease that took over the world that affected a lot.
That just happened. Both of these major global events were extremely and almost unspeakably devastating. But we're still not done because following World War I and following the Spanish flu pandemic, we find ourselves at the end of the 1920s, specifically 1929, when we began a time known as the Great Depression.
Right.
During the Roaring 20s, most Western countries experienced massive economic prosperity and also had a huge social and cultural change post-war. But this cultural change was for the better, with a vibrant and optimistic outlook on life in the future, and everybody was making money and feeling better, and everything that was horrible and bad was behind us, right? We survived one of the biggest pandemics of all time and one of the worst wars of modern history. Of course we have something to celebrate.
Bro, it's actually crazy to think about if the COVID-19 virus actually like, bro, that's insane to think about. We possibly could have had another one of those like massive pandemics. It was massive, but not like these. Like if we had that now, I couldn't even imagine.
The bad times are behind us and everything is better, right? No. And the worst.
It also seems like he's going in order, but there's like he might go back in time because there's multiple sections, unless it just keeps getting worse.
Was only yet to come. 1929 was the catalyst of the Great Depression, and the Great Depression lasted through much of the 1930s. The Great Depression can be summarized by its economic, social, and psychological effects that it had on basically all of America. But it wasn't just America that was affected.
Santana?
This was a global economic catastrophe, and millions of lives were changed forever. At its peak in the United States, unemployment rates were as high as 25%. Businesses were closing left, right, and center. Banks were failing. And because people lost their jobs, their savings, their livelihoods, and everything that they knew to be normal, people needed to adjust quickly or die. Poverty, hunger, homelessness were all extremely common during the Great Depression, as well as bread lines and soup kitchens, which were basically the government giving you rations of food, which typically weren't enough, but they helped. And it's not hard to believe that with this huge economic collapse came personal and political unease and restlessness. Any social programs that existed were now gone, which meant that the most vulnerable groups in society were now even more vulnerable. Old people, children, disabled people, anybody who wasn't fully and extremely self-reliant was now at risk. But even if you were self-reliant, there was still a huge psychological impact of this entire situation. Just imagine if 5 years ago you were experiencing the most prosperity you had in your life. You survived the plague, you survived the war, you had a business that was successful.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. These events are so close together that if you somehow made it through the war, like you reached the cutoff for like age wise from the war, you didn't get the plague or the disease, but then you got to deal with a Great Depression that lasted the whole decade. Like,
it seemed like everything was okay. But then in October of 1929, everything changed.
I don't know why activity feed doesn't tell me who sub. Hey, thank you though. If you sub, type in chat so I can thank you right now.
The bank where you stored your millions of dollars
I appreciate
was
it
closed.
either
Your
way.
money was nowhere to be found. The business that you were operating was now empty because nobody was shopping, and you had to
they
fire
have no
all of
money
your
to
employees.
shop.
The close
Wow.
network of friends that you had around you was now dissipating because people were ditching town to find any sort of opportunity elsewhere, and you are left.
I'm not gonna lie. It's a little like, obviously this is gonna be insane to say, right? I already know this is just not realistic, but I wonder if there was people that went like, what if we just live in the wild? Like, in a sense where it's like you don't go by the structure of money, or in like cities and stuff like that. You like go to like in the buttfuck of nowhere, pretty much. Like, I wonder if people went to areas where it's like good for farmland and just survived out there. But the thing is, I don't know how they would get there, because back then traveling was a big deal compared to now. Like, traveling is so easy now compared to back then.
Left in a house that you're going to default on with people that you need to take care of, and the only option you really have is to get in the breadline and hope for the best. If nothing else, that's going to do something on your mental health. And we've even seen the effects of people who...
Whoa, I accidentally just sped the video up. What I was about to say though, honestly speaking, you cannot blame people for turning into thieves or criminals during this time, I feel. Like, obviously, you don't want that in a society. You want there to be safety. This is an edit on head, by the way. You want there to be safety, but, like, you just can't have that, you know? So, if I was in this time period, I could definitely see myself committing crimes. Like, truthfully speaking, if my situation was that dire, I had to take care of older people, younger siblings, I couldn't find work, I had to stand in bread lines and stuff like that, I feel like there would be a lot more crime to be done.
And hope for the best. If nothing else, that's going to do something on
Which
your
would
mental health.
suck.
And we've even seen the effects of people who experienced and survived the Great Depression in future generations. During the Great Depression, people globally were uneasy. Everything that they felt they had worked for was taken from them. It was gone. And now most people are jobless, homeless, or at least hungry. And basically
the government
everybody
didn't really
was doing way worse
get much
than they were
help for
before.
them.
And this social unrest led to political unrest, which led to the rise of some pretty crazy ideologies. Which brings us to the last thing I want to mention in this period of time during the early 1900s, the Second World War. As I stated earlier, the First World War is one of the most catastrophic things to happen in recent history. And the Second World War, unfortunately, was just as bad as World War I, if not much worse.
What I was about to say, funny videos, yeah, there's going to be other videos after this as well. But what I was going to say is, it makes sense where, like, when he puts it in this perspective, like, you always hear about this type of stuff, but like they explain it in school in a way where it sounds so spaced apart, where it's like different stories, but realistically it's all one big story, where it's just like a collection of events, like a domino effect, where it makes sense why there would be a World War II. It always made sense, but it makes even more sense explain like this, how we got there in that time frame, you know?
The Second World War lasted longer, experienced much more death, experienced genocide, and so many more horrible things that weren't even possible during the First World War. Just for context, it's estimated that anywhere from 70 to 85 million people died during World War II. And it's believed that
compared to World War I, it was what, 13, what was it, like, yeah, 15 to 20 million total. That's
almost
insane.
half of these deaths were civilian deaths, which is extremely upsetting.
Yeah.
The Soviet Union alone lost 24 million people in World War II, which is
That's
more than all
crazy.
of the people lost in World War I, just for context.
Yeah.
And once again, if you were a young, healthy man during this time, there was an extremely good chance that you were about to be exposed to hellish conditions and almost certain death. And if you were
Yep.
just living in Europe or Japan, there was also a good chance that no matter who you were, old, young, man, woman,
You're
could very much
getting
so
cooked.
experience horrors beyond your comprehension. And the bookend on this entire period of time is the bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima that ended the Second World War and killed around 200,000 people. I just described
He did. I don't know if he's gonna mention it, but wasn't there also the period where during this time they got in, like, I don't remember what group got invaded, but it's like not swept on the rug, but they just don't acknowledge it. It might be China that doesn't acknowledge it. I don't know. One Eastern society like infiltrated another one and then did some unspeakable stuff. And I don't know if he's going to mention that or if that's in this
handful of
time.
some of the most significant historical events in modern history. And all of these things happened in like a 40-year stretch. If you were born in 1898, you could have been old enough to fight at the end of World War I, experience the Spanish flu pandemic, lose all of your money in the Great Depression, and then as an
Damn,
adult
bruh.
fight in World War II as well. And by the time World War II ended, you would be 47 and have a lot of stories to tell. It's honestly
Too
just
many
mind-boggling to
stories.
think about. And for that reason, I knew it was one of the worst time periods to be born into and live in. I wanted to
Right.
take a quick break from war because we've discussed a lot of it up to
Yeah,
this point. So I
let's-
wanted to
let's
talk
take
about the year
a refresher.
536 AD, which is
He
a
is
year
going
that,
back, okay.
ironically, has been nominated as the worst year to be alive by Michael McCormick, who is a medieval scholar. And by medieval
Oh.
scholar, I don't mean he was a scholar in medieval times. I mean like he is a modern-day scholar of medieval times. Regardless, what happened in
thought that
536
would've been
AD?
obvious.
Well, if you paid attention to the first section, a lot, because 536 AD actually does take place during the late antiquity. But I didn't want to discuss it in that section because I wanted to make sure I had a separate spot for, well, a volcanic winter. During 536 AD, a massive volcanic eruption took place and literally cooled the Earth's climate, specifically Europe's and China's climate. And for 18 months, across China and Europe, there was a dark sky consistently, temperatures dropping as low as 2.5 degrees Celsius. And
Damn.
because of that unusual decrease in temperature during these 18 months, people not only experienced severe weather anomalies, but also widespread famine. But on top of both
Right.
of these things,
There's
I can
no
only imagine
farm.
how scared and concerned people were because this volcanic eruption happened in Iceland. So people in
Oh, right. And word doesn't travel like it does now. So the whole time, they probably thought it was Judgment Day soon or something. Real talk. Because how would they get the information?
China and medieval Europe really didn't know what was going on. They just saw clouds that came and never left. And the results of these
Exactly.
clouds were devastating. And while we don't exactly know how many people died due to the famine and political unrest that were caused by the volcanic winter of 536 AD, this entire situation was basically just rubbing salt in the wounds of what was already
yeah.
happening during the late antiquity period. And I don't want to harp on the late antiquity so much, but let's just kind of recap. Consistent wars and raids, famine, economic collapse, a massive bubonic plague pandemic, and on top of all of this, a year and a half where the sky was just darker and everything was colder, which caused people to get really weird and squirrely, food to die, and weather to get weird. Like, for example, in China, it literally snowed during the summertime. Following 536 AD, there was something known as the Late Antique Little Ice Age, which lasted from 536 to 660. Because after this 18 months of the initial cloud dust that caused a volcanic winter, there was other eruptions that happened shortly after
Really?
that prolonged
Multiple.
the cooling of the Earth at this time. So even though 536 is the year that gets all the fame, there was roughly a 130-year period where the Earth was just colder, and it was literally known as a Little Ice Age. Ridiculous.
Wow.
Fast forwarding out of the late antiquity period for the second time, we're now moving on into the mid-1300s when medieval Europe is in full swing and we are now experiencing one of the most devastating pandemics of all time, the Black Death. In all
the
of
Black
Europe
Death.
and even
He is
areas
talking about
outside
it.
of Europe from 1347 to 1351, basically nobody was safe from one of the deadliest pandemics
Yeah.
to ever happen. Now, we've already discussed the bubonic plague that took place during the late antiquity period, but I had to discuss the Black Death because it was so culturally significant and it was so devastating. so I'm gonna make this part short, but I had to mention it. During this roughly 4-year period, the
Welcome
Black
back,
Death
James.
wiped out an estimated 30 to 60% of all of Europe's population, which is almost unfathomable to think about. In numbers, the death toll is estimated to be around 50 million in Europe and up to potentially 200 million globally. Like, let's just say it killed an average of 50% of people in Europe. That means 1 in 2 people were killed by...
How much of the world is that at that time? Like, how many percentage-wise is that of the world?
The plague in only a few year period. That is so hard to even imagine. And on top of the sheer terrifying nature of half of the people that were living now dying, there's also massive social and political impacts because of the Black Death, adding gas to the fire of this already out of control situation. And it's for that reason that being alive during the mid-1300s would be...
Oh, don't worry, James. I'll remember you. Have a good one, man.
One of the worst times to ever be born or live in general, because everybody was terrified of the disease that was going around. Nobody knew how to properly treat or prevent this disease. Half of everybody you know is dying from this disease. And if you were to be born in this setting, it must have seemed like the world was just ending around you. And for that reason, it's more than obvious why you would have not wanted to have been born or live during this period of time.
Because no one knew what the hell was happening.
And pandemics are inescapable on this list, I do have another example to discuss.
Yellow fever? Nope.
And it takes place during the late 1400s. But this is a time that is specifically tragic for a specific group of people, Native Americans. Europeans decided to take a trip over to America, and it ended in 95% of all indigenous populations effectively being wiped out, because Americans were immune to and carried diseases that the Native Americans have never seen before. But it wasn't only the diseases that made the colonization of the Americas
They're also just evil
devastating
people.
for the Native Americans, but it was also the social and religious and cultural aspects of the entire colonization by the Europeans. If you were a Native American living anywhere in North America, basically any time after 1492 was a really tragic time to be born and alive. As I mentioned previously, when the Europeans began to colonize Americas, the spread of old world diseases such as smallpox led to one of the deadliest biological disasters basically ever recorded. It's estimated that up to 55 million or 9...
It's crazy that smallpox was like able to kill you. Like now when you hear smallpox, you're like, oh, okay, he's just gonna get, you know, some treatment. But back then that shit would kill you.
85% of Native Americans passed away just from diseases alone. But that's really where the suffering began. If you were an indigenous person during the time of colonization, not only did you experience the widespread disease, but also widespread violence, displacement, and essentially destruction. The Europeans at this point already had gunpowder, and now they realized that they had an unintentional bioweapon that they could use at will. And because of this, many indigenous groups were simply at the mercy of the Europeans that were colonizing their land, which meant that
it just doesn't make, it has never clicked in my head how people just can look at just like another person, another race, or even the same race and just be like, you're not a real person. That just makes literally no sense to me, bruh. Actually none.
people were moved out of places that they've lived for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Wars took place on people that were already weak and had low morale. And the entire Native American way of life was not only in jeopardy, but on the verge of being destroyed forever. The settlers and explorers from Europe that were living in the Americas didn't have an easy life either. But compared to what the indigenous people experienced during this time, it's not even comparable. And keep in mind,
what's also crazy to think about, this is the last pause for a while, is that even if the indigenous people won the war, they would still get killed. They would still keep dying because of the sickness that the bodies brought no matter what. So either way, it's a terrible situation for them because the bodies will just still carry the disease.
These European explorers and settlers, they chose to embark on this mission. The Native Americans didn't ask for any of this. They were living their own life until the Europeans inserted themselves and brought over germs and steel. And even to this very day, you can still see the effects of this colonization on Native American communities. The colonization of the Americas is another example of an extremely harsh and tragic transition period that happened throughout history. And for better or for worse, it happened. And to have lived or been born as a Native American during this time, it would have been extremely hard and tragic. And for that reason, I had to put it on this list.
All right,
and
last
for the last
one.
time in this video, I actually wanted to discuss an entire time period.
Oh, a whole time period, okay.
Because it might not fit the criteria for some people, as this time period is prehistoric. And it's also pre-human. It's known as the Carboniferous period. And it took place from 539 million BC to 299 million BC.
Hey, this is a curveball I'll take.
Didn't exist during this time period. If if you were to have been born in this time period, you would have been wishing you weren't. The Earth was much different hundreds of millions of years ago, with one of the most notable changes being the oxygen level being much higher than it is today. As of right now, the air we breathe
Everything's
is only
bigger.
roughly 21% oxygen, but during the Carboniferous period, the air was 35% oxygen, which sounds great until you remember that oxygen is actually highly flammable. Which
Oh,
meant
yeah.
that during this time period where
A lot of
forests were
fires.
rich and lush, massive forest fires took place and would rage uncontrollably, sometimes for months or years on end. But that's only
Wow.
the start to some of the Carboniferous shenanigans. Because sure, if you were to be born in this time period, the air alone would cause health issues and would likely cause oxygen toxicity over time, but potentially that's something you could
Well, okay, he says that, but if you were born in this time period, that usually would mean your body would be accustomed to it. But I see what he's saying if the people of today were born back then.
acclimate to. Scientists
Yeah.
let me know. But forest
I
fires
feel like
aside,
we
you would have
would,
been
if
faced
we're
with
being
some of the
born there,
most
we'd be fine.
devastating and disgusting creatures of all time. Keep in mind, the Carboniferous
thank you
period
for
is
the
far
sub.
before the dinosaurs.
It won't let me know who subbed yet. Damn. But I need to figure out a way to. Yeah, sorry, it'll pop up in a couple minutes.
So if there
I
was no
appreciate it, though.
humans and no dinosaurs, what was roaming the earth? And the answer is insects and arthropods. And these creatures thrived in this oxygen-rich environment, which
Right.
meant that they could grow to insane sizes.
Yeah.
That's right. The Carboniferous period was essentially a time when the entire planet was overrun by huge bugs. There was giant dragonflies that had wingspans that were over 2 feet long.
Oh,
and there was
shit.
over 3.5 foot long millipedes that would just be crawling around. And these are only two examples of some of the creatures that existed during this time.
I can't,
This time period is also known
It would be wild to see the effect. Like, imagine insects never got smaller. They just stayed big, but like the rest of the animals that came now, like lions and shit like that, elephants, I wonder what their dynamic would be like. Would they be a threat to them? Because, like, I feel like they would. Like, insects, if they're huge, are more terrifying than modern animals. I'm pretty sure.
as the golden age of sharks, which as a human means that it's definitely not the golden age for you, which is just another reason why this entire period of time would be horrible to be a human, or alive as a human for that matter. But in case the prosperity of sharks and giant bugs weren't enough to kind of creep you out, there was also mega arachne, because of course there was. And what that means is there was giant spiders. Spiders that got
18 to 20 centimeters long is wild.
as big as a human head, which, I mean, I guess comparably to the size of the other
Okay.
animals I discussed isn't that big, but I mean, I don't want
Nah,
to touch
like,
any spider, let alone a
that's still
spider the size of
fine
my head. Even though the
to
Carboniferous period
not
likely would have
want
been
around you.
extremely beautiful with the rich oxygen causing lush rainforests and greenery to thrive globally, due to the residents of the earth at this time, you would have definitely not wanted to experience it. But I'm curious,
Right.
out of everything I discussed in this video, which time do you think was the absolute worst?
Absolute worst, like, obviously that last one, if humans could be born there, it would be the worst. But honestly speaking, living wise, it would have to be like, he said if you were born at 18 something, it would have been worse. I think that might be the worst. But if we're talking a specific like moment, it would have to be the Black Plague. Because what's up, Greg? No one knows what's happening. Everyone's dying. You got hella religious people claiming they know the fix or the causation, so they're going to be doing some old religion practices of getting rid of people. I can't say the word, but I'm sure you can figure it out. This was a good video though. Shouts out to Trust Me, bro. Let's get a more fun video this time. Let's see. You know what? Yeah. Let's hit up. All right. So the next video is the 7 levels of streamers by Officially Ronnie. This popped up on my feed, and I am Mr. Streamer now. I am live, and I'm actually curious what this video is going to be discussing realistically. I actually want to know. So let's get into this.
Streaming looks like the Wild West, but it's not. Every streamer falls
Okay.
into one of 7 levels.
Okay. So I'm going to just go based off. I'm just going to list off NPC who is that? Is that Jack Dorby or whatever his name is? Jack. I think it's just. I'm gonna just say Jack. Clout Chaser. Oh, you're playing rematch word. The second one, level 2. What's his name again? I remember him being clowned on a lot for being ugly, but it's like he just looks like a regular dude to me. I don't know. The grinder is level 3. Okay. And we got Max. Level 4 is Queso, the entertainer. I feel like that's me. Like, I feel like anything after level 4 is just not the area I want to go in, to be honest. But level 5 is Star, which was Ninja. His name is Dabo. Okay. Yeah, level 5 is Ninja. He had his whole Fortnite scene thing where he was at New York and shit, which is still wild to me. All right, word, Greg. And then level 6 is the Wave. We got Kai Cenat. You know, he has these events that like come out in waves that draw in people. I actually don't know. I don't watch Kai streams. Nothing against him. I actually have huge respect to him as a creator. Like, his shit goes crazy. But I actually have not tuned into a Kai stream before. So I don't know what he does on stream when he doesn't have like these big events. But I only like it says the Wave, big events just come with him, right? And then the Icon, IShowSpeed, he's on massive tours now. He does tours. That's all I know. Yeah, all right though.
Some are stuck at the bottom, some break through. From the NPCs clogging up Twitch, all the way to icons like IShowSpeed who literally redefined streaming today. Today, I'm breaking down the 7 levels of a streamer. Starting with level 1. I couldn't find what to call this level, so I put NPC as a placeholder. Anyway, level 1 is the unknown. Everyone starts here and most never leave.
So this is where I'm at.
These are the people who just discovered OBS last week and think streaming is a
never mind. This is not me. Not me at all then.
Simple as turn on the camera, get famous. Spoiler alert, it's not.
Yeah,
most beginners are here.
Definitely not
Look,
me.
No
then.
hate, everyone starts somewhere. Most streamers stay at level 1 forever. Some of y'all watching this might even be level 1 yourselves. You know, the aspiring streamer. You got a range of 0.
Oh, well, okay. He's kind of explaining it 2 different ways, but I guess I would be considered level 1, but it's not like I'm new to OBS or the idea of streaming and stuff like that. I don't know. I think, yeah, I would consider myself level 1, but the way he explained it right there, it didn't sound like I would agree. But
most beginners are here. And look, no hate.
I am a beginner streamer though.
Most streamers stay at level 1 forever. Some of y'all watching this might even be level 1 yourselves. You know, the aspiring streamer. You got a range of 0 to 200 viewers.
How many times you doing a day? Like 6 to 7 times, you know what I'm saying?
6, 7, you know, 6, 7 times a day.
6, 7 times, you feel me? 6, 7 times, you feel me?
Now, I don't want to say the actual streamers who are in this level because I don't want to get the smaller streamers butt hurt because it might look like I'm dissing them even though I'm not. Now, the next levels, I don't care. We're calling them out by name. Level 2, Clout Chasers. Your existence depends on attaching yourself to bigger names. You survive off of clips, collabs, or manufactured drama. Examples of a level 2 streamer.
Wait, I missed that. What that just said?
You survive off of clips, collabs.
Collabs isn't a bad thing? Yeah.
Or manufactured
of course
drama.
not.
Examples of a level 2 streamer are a streamer like a Yusuf or a Dabo, maybe a Zoe Spencer. For Dabo, his archetype is the clip farmer. Dabo
I've only
is known
seen
as
Dabo.
the loud, reckless, and known for what people call the humiliation ritual content. Basically, doing wild stuff, embarrassing stuff just to get attention.
Went back to my devious activities, bro. I was throwing that ass inside the locker room. My butt is. I was a demon. I was really gay. Like,
he started with no audience, but what got Dabo popular was maybe by accident leaning into being very emotional content creator, memeable, and let's be honest, his looks, and attaching himself to artists that he cares about, like Playboy Cardi.
Nah, you trim, Cardi. Nah, you really trim, bro.
His turning point was a viral reaction
he
to
up
Frank
there though.
Ocean's Blonde. That energy put him on stage with
I think the 6, 7. Is he still up there? I'm not even like, I actually don't know. I mean, I'd assume, right?
Cardi himself, good for him. And then there's the Diddy disciples like a Deshae Frost, popular but too freaky. Think of the most gooned out guy who can't do anything but make adult content for people who somehow haven't discovered adult sites. His whole shtick is bringing on OF girls and turning streams into, you know, it's not creative.
That's
it's just
crazy.
low effort gooner bait.
You feel it? Okay, turn it off. I'm finna nut. Please.
What? What is going on in my ear right now?
Buzz me up, man.
Hey, bro, I'm not gonna show it. You get the picture, bro.
Yeah.
What do I look like?
Move
Huh?
on,
Come
move on. I get the
But
idea.
I'll give you a little context.
Skip
okay?
past it. I
Shay
get it.
Frost and that girl are in an Uber.
Oh, it finally showed up now, bro. I hate how delayed this is. Flame Imation Mobile. Thank you for the sub.
My God, bro, do you really need that much info? Come on, let's just continue the video, huh?
Yeah,
Usually
please.
anyone who makes this type of content is level 2 and below. Jack
Okay.
Doherty, another one, he's what I call a cloud.
Okay, one thing I am noticing about this, I don't really think that these levels are like steps, you know? They're kind of like just categories, because level 1 is not gonna go into level 2, into level 3, into 4. Like, I don't know if that's like the only person I could think of that had a similar thing. Well, there's actually two. There's Speed with his old clips, like when he was actually on YouTube and shit. And then there's Kai with his humiliation ritual where the rat was in the back running across and shit. Like, I remember that first clip that dropped of that shit, and then he like clip farmed it with the tears and then your rage and all that. I remember that. That's the only time I think I could actually say it was a step, but I can't think of anyone else.
Goblin, his whole thing is shock value and desperation, getting into real fights and trying to, you know, manufacture chaos. It's less content and more please don't forget I exist type of content. Then there's the sidekicks for level 2. They exist because of the bigger streamer, not because of their own content.
Oh, webcam froze. There we go.
A lot.
Oh, is this webcam hot? No. So why? Hold on. I'm gonna unplug and replug. He did. All right. Hopefully it doesn't freeze
Streamers
again.
on level 2 can blow up quickly and fade away.
Encoding overload. You know, I could just stop the replay buffer. I'll give it a sec since it needs some time to stop. There we go. All right. Webcam should be fine then, if that's the case. Oh wait, I didn't even think of that. Is this also recording a separate? Okay, the webcam froze again. OBS froze. Okay. Filters. Okay, it's not recording a second thing. Why is it freezing then? Encoding overload. I'm gonna just give it a minute. I'm gonna see what happens. Let me go to the stats. Skip frames. Is it recovering? Like, what's happening? I should still be live, right? It says I'm still streaming, but let me make sure and check. Can't be too safe about this, especially if I'm making a video off this. Oh yeah, I forgot. I was about to say, I don't understand. On YouTube mobile, it only shows one stream. Okay. It seems fine right now. It seems fine. Did it freeze or? Okay. Is it fine? It just froze again. Here's what I'll do. I'll stop recording real quick, see if it goes down. Because then I'll only be streaming. All right, it's not saying encoding overload anymore. I'm gonna let it go for a couple seconds, recover a bit, and then yeah. At this pace though, we're actually gonna finish the stream at 12. So I actually will be at the time frame I was aiming for. It's still bugging. YouTube, and then just keep the vertical. I'll just do that. There we go. That Oh my gosh. Why is my browser open? Holy shit. That also that also would explain that. My browser was still open. Okay. There we go. There we go. There we go. It recovered itself. All right. We're back. We're back. We're back. It's going to say encoding overload, but it's going to recover for sure. Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that. Let's get back in this.
Once the big streamer stops.
Wait, if I didn't mention, oh yeah, I did mention the name. Okay. I was about to say, I didn't remember if I did. Encoding overload. Oh, come on. Oh no, am I gonna have to finish this off stream? Damn. Hey, James and everyone else in the chat, I'm gonna have to finish this reaction off stream. I appreciate you being here, but for some reason my shit's bugging right now. So I will be live tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last day of the week that I will be live. I'm gonna be live again next Monday. So if you want to be here, one, like and subscribe, turn on notifications, and then my Discord will be linked in the description, and you could join that, and then I send out notifications through there whenever I post and go live. But I will be ending here unless the thing is fixed. You know what, next time it says encoding overload, I will end the stream. So for now, I'm gonna keep going. If it does it again though and it starts lagging, you'll know.
Giving them platforms. Some elevate and become level 3. Level 3, grinder. This level is where a lot of gamers and reactions channels are. How far can this mic go? Like this.
Okay, so I know I literally just played it for a couple seconds and I'm paused again. I don't give a fuck. But I feel like, so I think what he means is you can skip levels, but they do kind of build off of each other. Like I've never been the level 1 or 2 guy. That just hasn't been me. I do clip farm a bit. I do get some clips. You caught me. You caught me. I get clips. But I'm not like a Jack or a Dabo type of getting clips person. You feel me? But yeah.
Right here, this guy, you see these guys?
Young
right
Don?
These are, you know, your reactors.
Yeah, the
They're
sauce
level
guy.
3. These are the people
Young
who
Don
are
the
good
sauce
enough
guy.
to stay relevant, but not.
Bro, I remember he used to do story times. I used to listen to that shit in middle school. Shouts out to him. He's a grinder for sure.
Good enough to really, you know, I don't know, change Twitch or something, streaming. For aspiring streamers, this is the comfort zone. Not too famous to have people
constantly streaming, pulling 500 to 2K. That is literally the perfect range in my eyes. Like, recognizable inside a niche, invisible outside it. Perfect for me. I want to be like, what's a tier? Is a tier 3 celeb, or is it like what? A C-list celebrity? I feel whatever. I don't want to be as big as Queso, but if I could consistently have 500 to 2K views, literally like all I need. I don't even really need it, but it's like I would love that. Like being able to do this shit all the time, full time, always have people to chatting with, having fun like this, bro. I would love that. May have one lane, gaming, just chatting, reaction, but not versatile. I do all 3. You can survive here for years, but rarely break ceilings. Okay.
Stalking or ruining your personal life, whether intentional or not, but also not too unknown to live comfortably. This level is what Twitch is about, or was about. Obviously, the upper levels changed Twitch more recently, but this level is more chill in my opinion. This is like the ideal level I'd like to be at if I ever started.
Exactly.
Level
Literally.
4, the entertainer. If you're
low key though, he said after, like, it sounded like he was saying after years you would fall off. I don't want that. I don't want to fall off. I want to keep being able to do that life, entertaining, growing, you know, pretty much having fun with my community. I want my own community to be there with me, you know, like I that's all I want.
You're in level 4, you're probably averaging in the thousands, maybe 10,000 plus viewers. That puts you
got personality people come for you, not just the game. 2K to 10K, Andy. You can headline your own streams, but you're still tied to your lane. Other streamers respect you, but you're not shaping anything. Known inside of Twitch/YouTube, but not mainstream. Okay.
well above nearly
not
every
mainstream
other
though.
It's rare. Most streamers don't even hit 100. People here thrive on being characters more than anything, or very skilled at what they do. Whether it's games, music, IRL, politics, they know how to entertain. They get viewers for a reason. That's basically level 4 all the way up to level 7. Take the Poggers
Okay,
lane.
yeah.
Wait, quick history lesson.
Whoa.
Pogger community is just a group of big old school Twitch streamers who blew up off
Yeah.
of gaming and built their own little ecosystem. Basically white people. And I think Poggers is like
Okay.
a Twitch slang for hype or something like that.
Yeah.
Guys like Asmon Gold or Mizkif. He's basically the glue that holds his side of Twitch together. He
I don't know who that
OTK.
woman
If you
is,
want
though.
controversy and unfiltered opinions, you're watching a Sneeko or Destiny. If you want goon content, you've got DDG, a YouTuber who turned Twitch into another project of his. If you're into
Okay.
women who say nigga freely, you're watching Cinna. This tier is also where most of AMP lives. Everyone except Kai, Duke, and Agent. Level 5, the star. If you're in level 5, congratulations.
No, thank
you're
you.
1 in 10,000. Literally.
thank
level
you.
5 is basically the streaming lottery.
I mean, if I got there, cool, but that is not my ideal, I don't think.
Most people never even sniff
Because like I'll like at this level, I'm pretty sure this is the level Kai's at. At this level, no. Kai was at the next one, I think. I think his was 6. Anyway, at that level, you have constant people bitching to you about anything you do. I don't want that. Like I'm very good at ignoring social media, but that would just be annoying. I wouldn't be able to go outside when I want, like full. I mean, I could, but it wouldn't be the same. Like I would have to be careful about posting where I'm at. Like that's just too much parasocialness, you know? I want to still live my life is what I mean.
tier. There are household names within streaming. These are the streamers averaging 15K to 50.
15 to 50K. So pretty much queso, but like I don't think queso really has to do. That's what's so special about queso in my eyes. He doesn't have to worry about what I just explained. Kai does. AMP people do. The Pogger community, they do. But queso is such an anomaly that I love because he doesn't have to worry about that as much, I feel. Like, obviously, there's still going to be those parasocial fucks that, like, will still try to fuck with him, I'm assuming. But, you know, 15 to 50K Andy, mainstream recognition outside of Twitch and YouTube, know your name. Your brand, sponsors, managers, employees, other streamers orbit around you. You're the CEO of yourself, a one-man operation.
50K plus viewers or concurrent viewers consistently. We're talking the top 0.1 to 0.5% of the, the elite tier. Gaming stars. These are the household names who built their careers on dominating games and turning it into mainstream recognition.
Esports
he's
players
the new school
too.
phenom. Massive viewership.
Well, they don't really. There's only a couple that hit like 15 to 50K, like Mr. Savage, Clicks, Mongrel. I'm naming Fortnite people because that's the old scene I was in, but like that's who I could think of. Tyler One, I'm sure. I've never seen his streams, but I definitely could see him getting over that. So people like them.
Gaming streams
Shroud.
still create stars in 2025.
This dude's name is K. Sit on me. Okay, sit still.
Wow.
Then you have OGs like Tim the Tap Man.
Hey, Tim.
Shroud,
Tim
and
too.
Tfue. These are some of the
Tfue,
most
yeah.
recognizable names in gaming streams. I'd even add Jinxie in the cut as well. On the political side, Hasanabi.
Why would you not add Jinxie? He literally got off of he got big off of, what is it called? Rogue Company? No, not, oh my god, I said Rogue Company. What is that game called? I don't know. Whatever that game is, that it looks like it could be fun, but you know.
He's the biggest political streamer in the world. He pulls tens of thousands of viewers
W
daily
shirt,
just
though.
by talking about news, breaking down everything. He's controversial.
I used
and
to
loved,
watch him,
but
yeah.
who isn't at this level? Then there's the popularity, personality-driven archetypes like Your Age or Bruce Drop 'Em Off.
Oh,
who's
yeah.
polarizing, yes. Hilarious, yes. But he has one of the most loyal fan bases in the game.
True.
You want music-driven streams, you go to a Plaque Max. Obviously, that's not all he does, but he's one of the few streamers actually trying to get taken serious in the music industry. I put
for
Dante
real?
on this list as well. He's one of the best reactor streamers ever, in my opinion. Flight Reacts is the king of NBA reaction content or sports content. He got popular for
streams?
acting dumb. Valkyrie,
Yeah,
I
you're
don't
bad
know much
indeed.
about her. I don't even watch
Neither
it.
do
And
I.
normally, that would mean I shouldn't rank.
I know she's surprisingly in her 30s. She does not look it at all. But yeah.
Right? False. I'm a ranker anyway. She's level 5. Then there's Ludwig, who's part of the Pogger community. Ludwig is tricky because he's either level 5 or level 6. Before Kaisenat did his subathons and mafiathons and broke all these records, Ludwig held the Twitch subscription record with the 31-day subathon in 2021. Ludwig, in my opinion, popularized the subathon format and became the biggest streamer in the world at one moment. You know what? Just because of that, he's level 6. Just because of that alone. Which brings us to level 6.
I mean, yeah, he
level
made
6,
new levels.
Cultural shift. This tier is where the most famous streamers streamers ever are. XQC. He started as an Overwatch pro to one of Twitch's most watched and subscribed streamers. He's also popular for needing subtitles on streams every once in a while.
I might be able to translate that. Hold on.
He's also popular for needing
I need to use context clues to translate though.
subtitles on streams every once in a while.
Guys, what did I shoot? Maybe?
Nigga, you ain't funny.
He put
That's
the
not
pokey
true.
clip.
Maybe you're just boring
Nah, that's hilarious.
and lame as hell. Cause only lame.
He
can
actually
say
put the
that
pokey clip.
stuff.
That's hilarious.
You ain't funny, Pokimane. She has been the face of streaming for women for nearly a decade. She's
Yeah.
the blueprint. Without Pokimane, half of today's
Hey,
women in
shouts out
streaming
to the
wouldn't even
cookies.
have the same
Psych.
reach. She made it normal to stream, I guess. I don't know. Hate it or love it, she's an icon for female streaming. Abai. If you're in the
I
US
don't
thinking
care.
Abai who,
It's
just know
W
he's
for
famous in the
female streamers,
Spanish-speaking
though.
streaming world. Man's at one point had 9.3 million peak concurrent viewers on Twitch, meaning 9 million
What?
viewers were watching him at the same time on
Wow.
one stream. If you still don't know him, you probably seen him in that viral speed meme when they both look at each other at the Ballon d'Or award ceremony. I think I said it right. Ninja. He took Fortnite from
Wait,
a
that was
popular
him?
game to
Okay.
a worldwide obsession. Well, not really him. There's obviously other people, but he was like the face of it for one point. He streamed
Right.
with Drake, broke Twitch records, got ESPN covers, late night interviews, the whole thing for just being a streamer. That was not even heard of. Now he's obviously not pulling those insane numbers like he did anymore.
Yeah.
But that doesn't erase the blueprint he left behind.
Definitely not.
He showed the world that streaming could cross into the mainstream. Level 7, Icon.
I think what really what really messed him up was sticking with Fortnite. Maybe if he shifted to other stuff, he still could have been as big today. But people also just don't like his personality, so maybe not. I don't know.
This is it.
He
the
definitely did
final
shift
level.
the game,
Level
though.
7 is reserved
Respect
for
to
the
that.
streamers who go beyond numbers. When you hit level 7, you're not
Recognizable by face name. You define the era, speed. Other streamers, yeah.
not competing
I
with
don't
other
need to
streamers anymore.
read anything
You're
else.
competing
Speed,
with, rappers, athletes, YouTubers, celebrities in the context of fame.
bro. It's not even a competition because they have to move different than the streamer. I feel like they have to move so much different compared to the speed.
I'm talking people who never opened Twitch in their life. They know who you are. There are only 2 streamers I put on Icon. Kai Cenat.
Yep, Kai
he's the
Cenat
face of Twitch, no
and
doubt. He turned
Speed.
streaming into an event. Subathons became the biggest event in online content. When Kai goes live, it's almost like old television. Kai is the event host of the internet. He's the one who took a format that used to be sit and stream for hours and flipped it into improv TV. He has, of course, got hate for that. Some say he's selling out. Others complain he's making everything about big stunts instead of just chilling and gaming. Some of his peers accused him of view-botting, like XQC. He gets blamed, analyzed, but that comes with being the biggest name on the platform. Then there's IzayaTC. At one point, he was the most hated streamer online. Too loud, too reckless, banned on Twitch, constantly in controversy. Example, 2 people left on Earth thing.
Say if we the last 2 people on Earth.
Oh, who gonna stop me?
Would you reproduce with me?
No, because that means our kids will have to intertwine and then their kids. No.
Who gonna stop me?
I will.
Who's gonna stop me?
But he transcended all that. He
Yeah,
flocked over to
he
YouTube
grew up.
after he got banned. Used Ronaldo as a way to get even more popular. Now he's a global name. Europe, South America, Asia, Africa, it doesn't matter where you go. Kids know who IzayaTC is. Even adults. I think he even met presidents at one point. They flood his
Really?
chat in languages he doesn't even speak. And part of that is because he's on YouTube. Everyone has YouTube on their phone, which means everyone has access to speed. That accessibility took his chaos worldwide. That man has 400 million followers on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. That's
400 million?
over 100 million combined on social media. It's crazy. So
Wow, I didn't know Speed had. I mean, it makes sense. He's literally worldwide, but hey, shouts out to this video. It's actually a good discussion to have, like how streaming changed. I'll save this video for another day, but yeah, I'm actually gonna end the reactions there and the stream because I don't know what's going on with it. But I appreciate everyone sticking around and everyone that subbed and liked and all of the above. Join the Discord for notifications, subscribe and get notifications. The Discord's in the description. I don't know if I just said that, but yeah, peace out.